we are now basically above the seventh heaven. He has met all of the prophets, including Ibrahim alayhi salam, and now he proceeds onwards above this. What is beyond this? He said, ثُمَّ رُفِعَتْ إِلَيَّ سِدْرَةُ الْمُنْتَهَى. And then I saw in front of me the Sidratul Muntaha. What is the Sidratul Muntaha? The Sidra is a type of tree. It's a type of tree that is known for its large branches, that it covers a wide area. It goes very vast. And it's known for its delicious fruit and sweet scent. So it is a tree that grows primarily in the desert, the type of sidra that the Arabs knew. There's many types of sidras in our times. The type that the Arabs knew when the Prophet was saying sidra, what comes to mind is a type of tree that it grows in the desert and its branches are very vast. So there's a lot of shade coming out from it. And its fruit is luscious and its smell is sweet. And Muntaha means the very end. So the sidra at the end, this is how it translates into. Sidratul Muntaha, the sidra at the very end. In English, this is called the lote tree. It's called the lote tree. In English, this is the translation. And the Prophet ﷺ said, فَإِذَا نَبَقُهَا مِثْلُ قِلَالِ هَجَرٍ. The fruits of this tree were as large as the water jars of Hajar. The water jars of Hajar, unfortunately, we don't know how large they were, but we can imagine, you can even remember if you go back to, cartoons and whatnot, you have these large jars of oil, large jars of water. So this is like the largest jar they had was a storage jar. You can imagine small, closet size if you like. So the Prophet is saying the fruits of this tree were as large as the jugs of the people of Hajar. And now realize this is what you call eloquence, by the way, that you're explaining something in a way that they'll understand. Right? This is metaphor. This is explaining things in a symbolic language that they fully understand. All the people of the time know how large the jars of Hajar are. Unfortunately, we have lost track of that, but the people he's speaking to know it. And then he said, and its leaves are like adhanul fiyala. Its leaves are like adhanul fiyala, which is the ears of ears of the elephants, right? Its leaves are like the ears of the elephants. Now it's really interesting here in that it is not authentically reported that the Prophet ﷺ ever saw an elephant in his life, right? But he is describing it like the ears of an elephant. Now we all know, at least we all know the ears of an elephant, right? Big flappy things, right? So the Prophet is saying the leaves of this tree are like the adhanul fiyala. And then I was told, هذه Sidratul Muntaha. In other words, he's seeing this tree and then he is informed by Jibreel, this is the Sidratul Muntaha. In a hadith in Bukhari, he said, ثُمَّ انطَلَقَ بِي. Then Jibreel continued going up with me. So this is, he's met all of the prophets. He's met Ibrahim. Now Jibreel goes up with him even higher. حَتَّى أَتَى سِدْرَةَ الْمُنْتَهَى. Until we got to the Sidratul Muntaha. فَغَشِيَهَا أَلْوَانٌ لَا أَدْرِي مَا هِي. It's a beautiful phrase here, very interesting. Ghashiyaha means it was enveloped. So we can imagine it was enveloped, meaning it's changing. And Allah Azza wa Jal Himself says in the Quran, إِذْ يَغْشَى السِّدْرَةَ مَا يَغْشَى. That when the tree was covered up by what it was covered up with. Allah doesn't tell us what. It's a circular thing. إِذْ يَغْشَى السِّدْرَةَ مَا يَغْشَى. When the tree was covered up by whatever was covering it up. And so the Prophet ﷺ is saying, فَغَشِيَهَا أَلْوَانٌ. There were colors basically going up and down the tree. لَا أَدْرِي مَا هِي. I don't know what those colors are. It's a beautiful phrase here that there are colors beyond the spectrum that we know of, right? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. This is a very small spectrum. Beyond this is, of course, many other types of energy and light. And the Prophet ﷺ is seeing something that in this world cannot be seen. Because in this world, this is the spectrum of the colors. So he is definitely in another zone, another dimension, whatever you want to call it. He is witnessing colors coming from this tree. He said, I don't know how to explain these colors to you. And I find this phrase very fascinating because it actually fits in very well with whatever we know of science. Not that we want to scientifically interpret it, but you get my point, that he is saying something so simple for the observer, the casual observer, but there's a deep and profound truth to this, and that is that he is seeing something completely different dimension, different world, that he is seeing energy and light coming to him from a completely, he doesn't know how to describe this color. Now, what is the Sidratul Muntaha? We have very little information about the Sidratul Muntaha. All that we know, this is the last thing that the Prophet ﷺ saw before he went above to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the final. And we know that everything that rises up from earth stops at Sidratul Muntaha. Allah says in many verses that Allah raises things up. Give me an example. What does Allah say He raises things up? The souls, okay, what else? No, this is rafa'a to this, no. Raises it up. Prayers, du'as. وَالْعَمَلُ الصَّالِحُ يَرْفَعُهُ. Right? Good deeds, right? Kalimat tayyib, all of these things, Allah raises it up. So we learn from one hadith that in Sahih Muslim, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said that the Prophet ﷺ said, then when I went on the Isra, I stopped at the Sidratul Muntaha, and he said, وَهِيَ فِي السَّمَاءِ السَّادِسَةِ. It is in the sixth heavens. إِلَيْهَا يَنْتَهِ مَا يُعْرَجُ بِهِ مِنَ الْأَرْضِ. At the Sidratul Muntaha, everything that ascends up from the earth stops there. فَيُقْبَضُ مِنْهَا. And it is basically absorbed by the Sidratul Muntaha.